Hi Krishna, welcome everyone. So we are going to discuss today the chapter number 4 of Nectar of Devotion. So till 14th or 15th chapter, Nectar of Devotion talks about Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. और हमने इसमें स्टार्टिंग में चर्चा किया था. If you go to the index, then first stages of devotion second chapter का नाम है. और ऐसे चलते चलते so today we have reached to the chapter number 4 or till chapter number 14th we will discuss वैदिक साधना भक्ति एंड देन रागानुगा साधना भक्ति. तो वैदिक साधना भक्ति को बहुत डिटेल में बताते हैं रूप गोस्वामी, बिकॉज दिस इज ऑन इन द ईस्टर्न ओशन. इफ यू चेक इट आउट योरसेल्फ, वेयर इज माय इंस्ट्रूमेंट, वन सेकंड, कैन यू गिव मी दैट केबल? हाँ, ये वाली निकालना. let me use another method to teach all of you. तो इसको थोड़ा सा ना मैं एक रिवीजन करवाता हूँ सो दैट एवरीवन बी ऑन द सेम पेज. कैन यू सी द व्हाइट बोर्ड? So nectar of devotion is like, if I divide the ocean into 4 parts. तो पोपत का एक कोट है, 4 books are for life. 4 books for life. What are they? Bhagavad Gita? No. 4 books are enough and 4 books are for life. तो 4 books are enough. So enough के अंदर आती हैं भक्ति शास्त्री वाली बुक्स, ईशोपनिषद, भगवत गीता, what NOD, NOI. So but 4 books for life में आती है भगवत गीता, भागवतम, CC and NOD. So NOD is such an interesting book that this is kind of a common book. मतलब दोनों में ही रहती है. But NOD is really amazing book. Why it is so? Because Nectar of Devotion is divided into 4 parts. This is हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु. भक्ति के रसों का सिंधु बना हुआ है. सिंधु में तो ओशन बना हुआ है. So that ocean, if there is an ocean, then there must be 4 corners. So one is eastern, and then another is western, then northern, and then southern. So basically these are the 4 ocean. तो basically आप imagine करके चलना कि कोई ocean है, थोड़ा सा लगा लेना कि ओशन जैसा ही है. और इस ओशन, ये ओशन किसका? भक्ति का बना हुआ है. अभी भक्ति के रसों को और भक्ति की डिटेल्स को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए ये रस बना हुआ है. तो आज ना मैं मॉर्निंग में एक जगह भक्ति शास्त्री क्लास बता रहा था. सो आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग देम व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ दीज 4 बुक्स आल्सो. सॉरी, 4 बुक्स आर इनफ. NOI, NOD, भगवत गीता, ईशोपनिषद का रिलेशन क्या है? सो ईशोपनिषद बेसिकली आपको एक्सप्लेन करता है गॉड इज अ पर्सन और इम्पर्सन. तो ये क्लैरिफाई करता है. तो इसका आंसर क्या है? गॉड इज अ पर्सन और इम्पर्सन, मतलब बोथ, बट whom you will worship. So it has the, yes, both the characteristics, but more than imperson, he is a person. Then and this Bhagavad Gita क्या establish करती है? Bhagavad Gita established that okay, this person is Krishna, or to approach the Krishna, bhakti yoga is the goal. Out of karma yoga, jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga. So of all the 3 yogas, bhakti yoga is the supreme. So but this is the purpose of that book. So in a physics book you cannot find much about chemistry or mathematics. So that particular book has a purpose. At the same time, Bhagavad Gita has a purpose to prove that bhakti yoga is the topmost among कर्म योगा, ज्ञान योगा, अष्टांग योगा. उन सब में से भक्ति योगा टॉप मोस्ट बनता है. तो ये दोनों जो बुक हैं ये एस्टेब्लिश करती हैं ओके देयर इज अ साध्य बेसिकली. साध्य को एस्टेब्लिश करती हैं और साधना को भी एस्टेब्लिश करती हैं, बट एनओआई और एनओडी ये दोनों बुक्स एक्सप्लेन ज्यादा करती हैं किसको, साधना और साध्य को। साधना और साध्य समझ रहे हैं ना, साध्य मतलब गोल, गोल क्या है, कृष्ण, और साधना क्या है, प्रोसेस, वो क्या है, भक्ति। सो दैट इज भक्ति। नाउ एनओआई और एनओडी दे एक्सप्लेन भक्ति कैसे काम करती है, बट ईशोपनिषद और भगवत गीता ये एस्टेब्लिश करती है कि कृष्णा इज द गोल एंड भक्ति इज द पाथ। You will not much found about Hare Krishna Mahamantra or any other thing in these two books. मतलब इवन कि ईशोपनिषद में कृष्ण वर्ड श्लोकों में डायरेक्टली भी नहीं है। सो दैट इज द मीनिंग, बिकॉज दे एक्सप्लेन और एस्टेब्लिश, सॉरी, एनओआई और ये एस्टेब्लिश करती हैं और ये एक्सप्लेन करती हैं। दिस इज अ रिलेशन बिटवीन दिस फोर बुक्स, राइट? So let's come to the NOD now. What is the best thing for the NOD? So if there's an ocean, then ocean is divided into the eastern side, western side, and then northern and southern. Okay, and then let me change the color. Maybe yes, black. Now eastern ocean, basically that ocean, that part of the ocean will deal mainly about Vaidhi sadhana bhakti more, that is which is required for all of us, plus little bit about Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti in the beginning days, and that itself is a very, very deep and very concentrated topic. And generally devotees study till this point, but you will be amazed when you will read this southern part where Rupa Goswami established the definition of rasa. And in the Western Ocean, he means in detail he will explain the 5 rasas with examples and all. And in the Southern Ocean, he will explain the 7 types of secondary rasas. That's how it becomes the whole Bhakti Ras Amrit Sindhu. So the Bhakti, that whole ocean of, और अब ओशन है तो इसके अंदर अगर कोई डाइव डीप करता है, then one will definitely found some jewels also, some very, very great riches. और एनओडी से नेक्स्ट लेवल रूप गोस्वामी फिर एक किताब का एक लिखते हैं ग्रंथ, जिसका नाम है उज्जवल नीलमणि। सो बेसिकली ये उसका नेक्स्ट लेवल बनता है। तो इस पूरे उसके अंदर से मतलब नेक्स्ट लेवल होता है। तो और तो मैं कई लोगों को, डिवोटीज को बताता हूँ, जैव धर्मा विच वाज रिटन बाय भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर, बेसिकली दैट बुक हैज कंबाइंड एनओडी प्लस उज्जवल नीलमणि both also in a short form, not in a long form, but in a short form. So Jav Dharma is that amazing book. That's why Jav Dharma is the book which has joined all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas together, because he was the father of Bhakti Sansar Thakur, at the same time Prabhupada also, same father of the spiritual master of Bhakta or Prabhupada. That's why he is the central pivot point for both the acharyas, both the generation. And that book is like, whoo, no, if someone has not read that book, he is not born. He has not understood bhakti. Yes. क्लास से बाहर मॉल में घूमने आए। Okay, is this clear? Okay, now see the screen. Now this is the 4th chapter of Eastern Ocean now. Eastern Ocean. Okay. So let's read maybe one paragraph, then I will explain something which will come over here. Oh, maybe yes. Okay, who will read? Who has a good accent? Maybe. Dishant Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Rosie. Hare Krishna.
How are you, by the way?
Yes, Rosie. No, fine. Good.
रिकवरिंग?
यस प्रभु।
वुंड्स वगैरह सही हो गए?
नहीं प्रभु, अभी रिकवरिंग पे है।
अच्छा
अभी
अच्छा।
है।
आई एम सॉरी टू हियर, वो एक्चुअली ज्यादा ही चोट लग गया वो, पर आई थिंक 10 दिनों में सही हो जाएगा।
यस
और
प्रभु।
यस ब्रो, रीड।
How much a devotee is seriously attached to the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood from the statement of Maharaj Prithu Adhiraja, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 20th chapter, verse 24. He prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus, my dear Lord, if after taking liberation I have no chance of hearing the glory of your Lordship, glories chanted by pure devotees from the core of their heart in praise of your lotus feet, and if I have no chance for this honey of transcendental bliss, then I shall never ask for liberation or this so called spiritual emancipation. I shall simply always pray unto your Lordship that you may give me millions of tongues and millions of ears so that I can constantly chant and hear of your transcendental glories.
So basically, this is the words of Prithu Maharaj. In the fourth canto, you will study about Prithu Maharaj, that how he prays when the Lord Vishnu was going back to the spiritual world after the yajna of Indra. Prithu Maharaj और इंद्र का जो फाइट हो जाता है, yes, the horses. So basically, the Prithu Maharaj was not able to conduct the Ashwamedh Yajna, and he got stuck up on the 99. And Indra every time used to come and used to stole that horse and went away. So to protect that, the Lord Vishnu himself has to come. And Prithu Maharaj became very much satisfied, and he gave up that idea of sacrifice. अब क्या हुआ, इंद्र अब कौन जीता, इंद्र जीता या पृथु महाराज जीते? और पृथु महाराज को 99 यज्ञ करके विष्णु मिल गए, बट इंद्र को लगा कि मेरी पोस्ट चली जाएगी, क्योंकि कोई शो अश्वमेध यज्ञ कर ले तो देन he may become Indra. So he was a little fearful, but he lost the Vishnu. At the same time he got one seat, but at the same time Prithu Maharaj got Vishnu. But Prithu Maharaj was not an ordinary person. Prithu Maharaj was amazing devotee of the Lord. पृथु महाराज का और खास बात क्या है? What is his relation with the Navda Bhakti? Yes, he is the Acharya of Archanam also, Prithu Maharaj. But what he is praying over there, just see the words, my dear Lord, if after taking liberation, now we discussed earlier, there are 5 types of liberation. So there are 5 types of liberation. I have no chance of hearing your glories of your lordship, glories chanted by the pure devotees from the core of their hearts in the praise of your lotus feet. And I have no chance for this honey of transcendental bliss. Then I shall never ask for the liberation. मतलब मैं मुक्ति क्यों चाहूँ अगर मुझे भगवान की कथा सुनने का आनंद नहीं आ रहा है? तो एक्चुअली मैं अभी कहीं पे पढ़ रहा था, why people are yesterday there was one student who was working in Gurgaon. So I told him that we have opened a base and all these things in Gurgaon. So he was mentioning कि प्रभु जो मेरा मन नहीं लगता है, मैं काम करते रहते, it's a different, not you, but it's a different also, you just get a job here. तो जैसे जॉब में रस क्यों नहीं मिलता है, तो उसका सबसे बड़ा एक आंसर है माय डियर फ्रेंड, एक्चुअली एक ये वर्ड होता है रस. तो रस का बेसिकली क्या है ना, हमने एनओडी में स्टार्टिंग में पढ़ा था. सो देयर इज अ मंडेन रसा एंड देयर इज अ स्पिरिचुअल रसा. ओहो, माय हैंडराइटिंग इज रियली बिकमिंग वर्स. सो मंडेन जो एक्टिविटीज है उनका उनका 2 क्वालिटीज होता है. व्हाट इज भोग और त्याग. और स्पिरिचुअल में क्या होता है, स्पिरिचुअल में चीजें एनहांस करती हैं, एक्सपोनेंशियली बढ़ती रहती हैं, भक्ति का रस बढ़ता रहता है. तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन दैट मंडेन में अब क्या क्या आ जाती है, मंडेन एजुकेशन भी आ जाती है. अभी जो स्कूल में टीचर्स पढ़ा रहे होते हैं उनको पढ़ाने का मन करता है? नहीं करता. एडमिन का काम करने का मन करता है? नहीं. बच्चों को पढ़ने का मन नहीं करता, बिकॉज उस कार्य को करने के अंदर कुछ ना कुछ टेस्ट हमेशा छुपा होता है. किसी भी कार्य को करने के लिए तब ही कोई कार्य कर भी पाएगा कोई. किसी को कोई चीज कार्य करने का बार बार ही मन कर रहा है, बार बार ही कोई चीज में इंडल्ज है, that means he is getting taste into that. So but this is the nature of the mundane things, that it will have भोग, स्टार्टिंग में एंजॉय करेगा, फिर then he will leave it, वो छोड़ देगा उसको. But the good thing with the spiritual thing is that इसका क्या है, आनंदम बुद्धिवर्धनम, कि उसका जो आनंद है वो कैसे बढ़ता रहेगा हमेशा. सो पृथ्वी महाराज इसमें ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो भक्ति के अंदर या भगवान की ग्लोरी सुनने के बाद या फिर कथा सुनने के बाद भगवान की, सो ऐसा नहीं है कि यार ये बोरिंग लग रहा है, वो लग रहा है. आप गोवर्धन की लीला आज सुन लो, 100 बार ही सुन लो, तो आपको उतनी मीठी लगेगी. बट यू नीड टू डिसाइड ऑल्सो दैट यू हैव अ टेस्ट फॉर दैट, आई यू नीड टू गेट द टेस्ट फॉर दैट. उसके अंदर तो टेस्ट है, बट हम लोग कितना एक्सेस कर पा रहे हैं, ये बहुत मैटर करता है. अब वो इतना मैटर करता है कि कितना हम मटेरियली अटैच्ड हैं या स्पिरिचुअली एडवांस्ड हैं. उसको रस तो तभी आएगा ना प्रभु, वो जब जब उसके अंदर झुकेगा. अब गाड़ी की ब्रेक लगा रखी है, रेस दबाओगे गाड़ी जाएगा. बट दिस इज द नेचर, मतलब what I'm explaining, the nature of the spiritual thing is that it will give you rasa, and once you will start getting the rasa here in the spiritual things, then you will like to hear thousands of ears, what do you say, and the thousands of tongues. ये किसका प्रेयर है by the way? To chant the holy name of the Lord. Yes, chant the holy name of the Lord, then one should have. But ऐसा हमारे साथ क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? Ask this question. So हमें हरिनाम में 16 माला करते करते हमें लगता है कि ओहो, this is too much, I can't go ahead. Why it is so? Because yes, there are n number of anarthas, n number of aprad, n number of material attachments. Keep struggling. Now what he says, if after liberation I have no chance of hearing the glories, I have no chance of any the transcendental spiritual convention, I shall simply pray unto you, Lordship, that you may give me millions of tongues of ears so that I can. This is basically Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, what is explaining here. I can constantly chant and hear of your transcendental glories. Okay, is this clear? Now, in the next paragraph, Popal mentions about the impersonalist. Yes, Dishantru, please read.
The impersonalists desire to merge into the existence of the Supreme, but without keeping their individuality. They have no chance of hearing and chanting the glories of Supreme Lord, because they have no idea of the transcendental form of Supreme Lord. There is no chance of their chanting and hearing of his transcendental activities. In other words, unless one is already beyond liberation, one cannot relish the transcendental glories of the Lord, nor can one understand the transcendental form of Lord.
Now Prabhupada is mentioning another interesting point here, that let's go a fresh page. Yes. Now what happens is, this is material world, this is spiritual world, and in between there is a Brahman, impersonal Brahman Jyoti. Okay. Now, in the impersonal Brahman, there is no Anand, there is only Sat part. In Paramatma part, there is a Sat plus Chit, and in the Bhagavan realization, then there's Sat, Chit, and Anand. But in the Brahman, there is only concept of eternity. Eternity. That's why, if there is no concept of the Anand, then how the living entity who aspires to go to the impersonal, and then there is no person present over there, then where there will be exchanges, and where there will be motion, there will be love. No, not possible only, no reciprocation only. So that time it becomes like a very dry type stuff. You can understand it like this, that suppose you want to go to meet some friends, some relatives, और वहां पे जाते हो कि वहां पे खाली बिया बैगान पड़ा हुआ है, मतलब मैदान ही मैदान है, खाली खाली मैदान सा पड़ा हुआ है. अब आप आसमान में चिल्ला रहे हो और बात कर रहे हो किसी से. So it's like that. But other thing is, now you go to a person home and you met that person, you had an exchange, you eat together, lunch and everything, and you play together, you have a good fun. Which one is better? So that's called Bhagavan realization. That's like an impersonal realization. So there also you may like, okay, I'm moving in the sky, moving in the ground, but there is no personal exchanges only. That's called impersonalist, or they may say that okay, this ground belongs to one of my friend, but that is the belonging of that friend, that not that exactly the person. Just like impersonalism, you can understand, just like Pradhan Mantri exists, but he exists through his potencies in the world also, through the rules and regulation, policies and everything. So these policies and rules and regulation also represent the prime minister, but they are not the prime minister. But if someone is sitting next to the prime minister, he is really reciprocating with the prime minister. Which one is better? Now it depends on the jiva's sthai bhav, where he will be satisfied. Now what exactly is sthai bhav? Sthai bhav are the five sthai bhavs: shant sthai bhav, dasya, sakhya, vatsalya, madhurya. They are the original sthai bhav. But when this is the original sthai bhav, and when it is mixed with multiple things, that becomes the rasa. That comes in the southern part. So point over here is, if someone has been influenced by one of the sthai bhav, then he will be attracted to that stuff. It's not that one cannot increase or raise, but at the same time, one has to identify himself where he is standing. Okay, is it clear? Impersonal is trying to desire to merge into the existence of the Supreme Lord, but without keeping their individuality. They have no chance of hearing and chanting. अभी person ही नहीं है, तो उसकी glories कहाँ से आएगी? Because they know have idea of transcendental form of the Lord. Abhi form ही नहीं है, so how can be there a chance of chanting and hearing of transcendental activities? In other words, unless one is already beyond liberation. Now it also signifies, Prabhupada is mentioning wonderful point here, कि अब भगवान की कथा में रुचि किसको आएगी? Just see this line. Unless one is already beyond liberation, तब जाकर के होगा. So that means if we are not finding the taste in the katha of Krishna, that means we are almost like अभी material consciousness में है, or at least we are not liberated, or at least we are not crossed the material consciousness. That's interesting, no? So one can check himself. And why I'm not getting taste in holy name, why I'm not getting taste in the katha of Krishna. Yeah, because we may have desire for liberation, we may have desire for heavenly planets, we may have a desire for money, wealth, fame. And this liberation तो इससे भी बहुत बड़ी चीज है. Liberation is very very big stuff. But अभी तो इसी का struggle चल रहा है. Okay, next verse, next paragraph.
A similar statement is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 14th chapter, verse 44.
Get connected.
Sukhdev Goswami
Go.
addresses Parikshit Maharaj there and says, the great soul King Bharat was so much attached to the service of lotus feet of Krishna that he very easily gave up his lordship over the earthly planet and his affection for his children, society, friends, royal opulence, and beautiful wife. He was so very lucky that the goddess of fortune was pleased to offer him all kind of material concessions, but he never accepted any of these material opulences. Sukhdev Goswami praises this behavior of King Bharat very highly. He says, any person whose heart is attracted by the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudan, does not care even for that liberation, which is aspired to by many great sages, but to speak of material opulences.
Oh yes. So there is a one more character introduced in Srimad Bhagavatam. Which character? Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj is a really interesting person in the Srimad Bhagavatam. और अगर आप ये 5th canto 14th chapter पढ़ लोगे ना, so बची कुची भौतिक आसक्तियां भी की भी समाधि बना सकता है चैप्टर. So that's a really interesting one. भरत महाराज का पूरा संग ही है, पूरा जो प्रसंग है ना, that itself is a very very, आप पढ़ना उसको डीप है काफी. So what is saying, any person whose heart is attracted by the transcendental glories of qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Madhusudan, does not care even for that liberation which is aspired by the many greats. What to speak of material opulences? The material opulences से बड़ी चीज क्या है? Liberation. Liberation से सबसे बड़ी चीज क्या है? Transcendental qualities. Bhakti. Bhakti is even higher than the liberation. In the liberation, you don't do service, and if you don't have service or exchanges, then you cannot experience the love of other person. Just suppose you went your home, and then mother just smiled, but she maybe you may say, "I love you, mother," but mother is not giving you any water or food. But love means service. So if you love some person, then you will definitely extend yourself, stretch yourself, and run for extra mile for that person. But if someone is not running, that means he does not love. He does not love. So love means service. Love means service. Simple. So if you love Krishna, then you will like to chant his name. You will like to glorify his name. You will like to speak about him. You will like to preach his message. That is simple thing. And once you are attracted to speak about him, about his services, then the above line, the things about which easily give up his lordship over the earthly planet and his affection for his children, society, friends, XYG. Why it is so? किसी चीज को छोड़ना बहुत आसान होता है जब उससे बड़ी चीज कोई मिल रही होगी. सो दैट्स वेरी वेरी जी. कंपनी में किसी की जॉब लग रही हो, सो उसको अगर पता लग जाए कि ओके यू आर गेटिंग बेटर पैकेज, वन विल easily give up. So that's the relation with that stuff also. So point over is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or NOD is mentioning to all of us that what can be the highest thing. Okay, so let's go to the next paragraph in Bhagavatam. Now we are shifting to the 6th canto. बेसिकली नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन के अंदर जो मैक्सिमम रेफरेंसेस आपको मिलेंगे ना, वो भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु से मिलते हैं. देयर इज इवन इन द लास्ट पेज ऑफ एनओडी यू विल फाइंड आउट भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु है क्या चीज. भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु बेसिकली इज अ कंपाइलेशन ऑफ मैनी बुक्स टुगेदर. सो उसके सभी बुक्स के रेफरेंसेस को उन्होंने रखा हुआ है रूप गोस्वामी ने. बट उसमें से सबसे ज्यादा रेफरेंसेस किसके रखे जा रहे हैं? सबसे ज्यादा रेफरेंसेस किसके हैं? श्रीमद् भागवतम के. जैसे हमने अभी तक भी हमने 2-3 चीजें पढ़ी, उसी में ही 3 आचार्य के बारे में पता लग गया. तो इसमें और भी सारे लिटरेचर्स हैं, बहुत सारे उपनिषद हैं, बहुत सारे पुराण हैं, नारद पंचरात्र, सब कुछ वो भी आता है. बट इसमें श्रीमद् भागवतम ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 70% कवर करता है. सो यू ऑलमोस्ट लाइक यू आर रीडिंग द इवन विद इन द भागवतम देयर आर मल्टीपल थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग, बट उसमें से भी प्योर भक्ति के जो सूत्राज हैं वो रूप गोस्वामी ने यहाँ पे लगा दिए. ये फर्क है. तो इसलिए इस किताब का नाम भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु. Okay, let's read now from the 11th canto. Sorry, 6th canto, 11th chapter. Yes, bro. Vritrasur.
In the Bhagavatam 6th canto, 11th chapter, verse 25, there is a similar statement by Vritrasur, who addressed the Lord as follow. My dear Lord, by leaving your transcendental service, I may be promoted to the planet called Dhruvaloka, the pole star, or I may gain lordship over all planetary system of the universe. But I do not aspire to this, nor do I wish the mystic perfection of yoga practice, nor do I aspire to spiritual and emancipation. All I wish for, my Lord, is your association and transcendental service eternally.
Read the next one. 1 second. Can you see? Yeah. Read the next one. So now you're going to study some references. एक्चुअली मुझे ना कॉल आ रहा है टिफिन वाली माता जी का. ओके, आप पढ़िए. दिखाई दे रहा है आपको?
Yes, Ruli.
Okay,
This statement is confirmed by Lord Shiva in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto 17th chapter verse 28, wherein Lord Shiva addressed Sati thus: My dear Sati, the person who are devoted to Narayana, Krishna, are not afraid of anything. If they are elevated to the higher planetary system, or if they get liberation from material contamination, or if they are pushed down to the hellish condition of life, or in fact, any situation whatever, they are not afraid of anything. Simply because they have taken shelter of lotus feet of Narayan, for them, any position in the material world is as good as another. There is similar statement by Indra, the king of heaven, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, verse 74. There, Indra addressed Mother Diti in this manner: My dear mother, person who have given up all kind of desire and are simply engaged in devotional service to the Lord, know what is actually their self-interest. Such person are actually serving their self-interest and are considered first-class expert in matter of advancing to the perfectional stage of life. In the seventh canto of the Bhagavatam, sixth chapter, verse 25, Maharaj Prahlad says, "My dear friend, born in atheistic family, if you can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, then there is nothing more rare in this world. In other world, if the Supreme Lord Krishna is pleased with you, then any desire you may have within the core of your heart can be fulfilled without any doubt. As such, what is the use of elevating yourself by the result of fruitive activities, which are automatically achieved in all events by the mode of material nature? And what is the use for you of spiritual emancipation or liberation from material bondage? If you are always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord and always relishing the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, then there is no necessity for any of these. By this statement of Prahlad Maharaj, it is clearly understood that one who take pleasure in chanting and hearing the transcendental glories of the Lord has already surpassed all kind of material benediction, including the result of the pious, fruitive activities, sacrifice, and even liberation from the material bondage.
Hmm. All right. So, what's happening over here? Let's analyze it. तो एक कंसेप्ट है जो बार बार हिट किया जा रहा है, लिबरेशन. और लिबरेशन के सिनोनिम्स को अगर आप बात करें ना, सो लिबरेशन मीन्स यू डोंट वांट एनी एंगेजमेंट. हाँ, नो एंगेजमेंट, और यू कैन से नो सर्विस, और यू कैन से no reciprocation, but at the same time no reciprocation. Good. Or another subtle meaning of that is, are you Krishna centered or self centered here? Yeah, you're self centered here, no Krishna centered. Because in the liberation, one is focusing on oneself. How can I can get rid of the services? Now, my dear friends, if you talk about what's happening in the above stanzas of this an act of devotion, from the different you can say different references, Rupa Goswami is proving that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 4th canto, 7th canto, different references which Rupa Goswami is giving over here of Prithu Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, 11th canto, and different one, that liberate the devotees have, the stalwart devotees, they have tried liberation at all, totally. Why it is so? Because of these reasons: self-centeredness. Now, if we talk about practically in our devotional life in modern time, when we are associating with the devotees, what exactly it mean? सो ये कंसेप्ट तो बड़ा सुनने में थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स लगता है, बट इसको अगर प्रैक्टिकली आप नॉर्मल लाइफ में देखोगे तो हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं कि हाँ, लिबरेशन, मैं इम्पर्सनलिस्ट हूँ या पर्सनलिस्ट हूँ. सो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, लेट मी शेयर सम रियलाइजेशन about this whole area. How can you prove that you are more service inclined, or you are a person of a service inclined person type? How you will prove it? So अगर हम इन सारे आर्ग्यूमेंट्स को इनके अपोजिट जाते हैं तो हम प्रूव कर सकते हैं ना कि हम लिबरेशन नहीं चाहते. सो हमने डिस्कस किया कि लिबरेशन चाहने वाला बंदा सर्विस नहीं ढूंढ रहा है, या सेल्फ सेंटर्ड है, या फिर एंगेजमेंट नहीं है, या फिर रेसिप्रोकेशन नहीं कर रहा है. सो अगर हम इसके अपोजिट करेंगे तो दैट वुड बी द भक्ति. So I am asking all of you that how can you prove, how can you dismantle or disagree with this point of no service? कैसे बताओगे कि हाँ,
To do service.
okay, to do service of whom?
Krishna.
Krishna is a very big person. Krishna is not present in front of you right now.
Spiritual master.
Spiritual master still is far away in ISKCON.
Siksha Guru.
Okay, Shiksha Guru can be one person. Yes, at the same time, yeah, instruction of the spiritual master. Vaishnavas. And what are the services Vaishnavas can give to you? One is sadhana. Okay, what else? Huh? Okay, hearing means वो साधना के अंदर ही आ गया. What services I am asking? मतलब आप लोगों को अपने एक्सपीरियंस में अभी तक सर्विसेज कुछ मिली होंगी ना, तो वो so that if we are not getting service, that itself is a kind of a area where we are falling into the comfort zone of no service. That means we are turning our life of Krishna consciousness to become impersonalist type person. The characteristics of a devotee is that he will never say no to any service. Not just no, this is one category. Just like there are three categories. 1, 2, 3. First category is कि उसको कुछ बोल भी दो तब भी नहीं कर रहा है. एक है कि चलो जिसको जो बोला वही कर रहा है. एक है वो माइंड को पकड़ ले रहा और ऑलवेज हैंकरिंग फॉर सर्विसेज, और वो पूछ भी रहा है कि प्रभु जी कुछ और सर्विस है क्या मेरे पास. सो वी नीड टू आस्क अवर सेल्फ दिस क्वेश्चन कि प्रभु हाउ मच आई आस्क द सर्विसेज, or how much I run after the services, or I just want to get rid of the services area only. And the more we are running from this attitude of catching the services, the more we are trying to become impersonalist, or we are entering into that area where we don't want no service. So that is the issue. So this is not something, this is impersonalism in Krishna consciousness, or Mayavad conception in Krishna consciousness. It's not that simple. Okay, if we are chanting, or if we are following for regulative principle, if we are studying Shastras, we are initiated also. No. वो conception internal mentality का है, वो external नहीं है. Even Mayavadis sometimes chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they also worship. But where is the difference? There is a difference in the consciousness. So that consciousness can be within us. So the purpose for discussing this point is to remove that conception. That if we are facing that kind of area, that okay, I don't want to bring the Vaishnavas at my home, I don't want to let them serve, I don't want to whatever service. अरे attitude ऐसे होना चाहिए प्रभु जी, शरीर खत्म हो जाए वैष्णव सेवा में. That should be the same. What do you say in the Chaitanya Charitamrita? The devotees are running here and there, dancing, kirtan, serving the devotees. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to receive the devotees from Bengal on this Rath Yatra, that time that he was arranging their accommodation and prasadam and everything. Kon? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see? We generally do the service when there is a crisis, or when someone asks us. So basically we need to run. So point over here is this. Okay, is this clear? What is? Okay, हाँ, हम उसमें कुछ और भी देख रहे थे. No engagement. Yes, this is again extension of that same point. No engagement. So one thing is senior is giving you engagement. Another thing is senior is giving you engagement and you're doing it perfectly also. Another is you yourself is going and asking again and again, and 100% you are engaged into that services also. कहीं तो ऐसे होते हैं दे दिया और गलत भी कर रहे हैं, और गलत कर भी जा रहे हैं, और अगली बार पूछ भी नहीं रहे. So this is not bhakti. This is not bhakti. Forget. We are not on the right track then. And that will help you to build the relationship with the devotees, and then there will be reciprocation of the realizations. Realizations, my dear friends. And then it will not be self-centered, it will be devotee-centered. And then you will be worried, okay, what we can do more for the for spreading the preaching activities, for spreading the Sankirtan, for spreading the Prashadam. distribution. Is it clear? आगे बढ़े. So all these are the different references which Rupa Goswami mentioned. So I want to take you to add something, some story here. तो आप इसको छोड़ दीजिए और यहाँ पे आ जाइए. Purpose of this. ये थोड़ा सा रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. इन द 9th canto. Yes. Okay, Dishant, read it.
In the 9th canto of Bhagavatam, 4th chapter, verse 67, the Lord of Vaikuntha replied to Durvasa Muni thus: My pure devotees are always satisfied being engaged in devotional service, and therefore they do not aspire even after 5 liberated stage, which are: 1. To be one with me. 2nd. To achieve residence on my planet. 3rd. To have my opulences. 4th. To possess bodily features similar to mine. 5th. To gain personal association with me. So when they are not interested even in this liberated position, you can know how little they care for material opulence or material liberation.
हाँ, ये 5 तरीके की लिबरेशन है जो हमने पढ़ी थी पहले दिन. सो फाइट. तो भक्ति के अंदर एंगेज होने के बाद फिर जीव को ना अपने बारे में कुछ नहीं लगता, वो भगवान के बारे में सोचता है, वो मतलब मिशन के बारे में सोचेगा. फिर ऐसे हम उस चीज को रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं. यस. ओके, नाउ गो देयर. व्हाट इज दिस? हाँ हाँ, ये बड़ा अच्छा है. इसके ऊपर यस प्रभु, ये पढ़ना 10th कैंटो रेफरेंस. तो मतलब सारे कैंटोस से हमने लिबरेशन को हिला देने वाले पर्पट्स मिल रहे हैं. गो अहेड.
There is a similar statement in the 10th canto, 87 chapter, verse 21, wherein the Shrutis, the Veda personified pray to the Lord as follow: Dear Lord, it is very difficult to understand spiritual knowledge. Your appearance here, just as you are, is to explain to us this most difficult subject of knowledge of the Spirit. As such, your devotees who have left their domestic comfort to associate it with the liberated acharyas, teachers, are now fully merged in the devotional service of your lordship, and thus they do not care for any so-called liberation.
They left their domestic comforts to associate with the liberated acharyas. Wow, what a line, na? Fully merged into the devotional service of your lordships, and they do not care for any so-called liberation. Yeah. And now personal service itself is a big topic, my dear friends. Serving the Vaishnava is not easy. Serving a devotee for 1 hour, 2 hours is easy. But serving a Vaishnava for 1 day, very difficult. Serving a devotee for 10 days is like anything. Or serving a devotee full time. It's not that easy. Believe me. फिर उसमें आपको अपना पर्सनल इंडिपेंडेंसी त्यागनी पड़ती है. अभी हम जो भक्ति कर रहे हैं उसमें तो क्या है, प्रभु अभी तो हम सर्विस करते भी नहीं है. अभी तो मैक्सिमम टाइम हम साधना ही कर रहे हैं, जस्ट अपने आप को बैलेंस करने का. बट सर्विस जब हम किसी के साथ रह के करते हैं, देन वन हैज टू गिव अप हिज ओन लाइफ, his own free time, free space. Then you have to follow his prashadam, his cloth washing, his timetable. You need to supply the things he need, and that's how you run. And that's called full shuddhikaran. That's what is required. That's what is required also. और जनरली ऐसा ही होता है. When some suppose करो कोई सीनियर वैष्णव आ रहा है, जैसे महाराज आ गए थे भाई, गोपाल कृष्ण महाराज ऑन जन्माष्टमी. इट्स वेरी इजी टू हैव मतलब महाराज के लिए अम्ब्रेला लेके आना, बारिश हो रही है तो वो 1-2 घंटे के लिए तो ड्रामा सब लोग कर देंगे. और जितने ज्यादा भक्त लोग इकट्ठे होते हैं मतलब, तो 1-2 घंटे के लिए बहुत सारे लोग इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे. बट इफ यू गो एंड सर्व हिम फॉर 1 day, यू विल गेट टू रियलाइज मैनी पीपल विल से कि मैं कुछ और कर लेता हूँ. The lack of spiritual service inclination within us, lot of. तो 1 घंटे के लिए तो ठीक है, प्रसाद प्रसाद कहीं से यहाँ से अरेंज कर देंगे, वहां से अरेंज कर देंगे, बट रोज प्रसाद बना सकते हो? रोज ऐसे छाता लेके आ सकते हो? रोज सुबह उठ, उनसे पहले उठोगे, उनके रात को उनसे देर बाद सोओगे, उठ करोगे? उसको कह रहे हैं सेवा भाव। तब उठता है अनर्थ निवृत्ति, तब भूत उतरते हैं सारे। वो अभी 1 घंटे के लिए तो सारे नाच गा लेंगे, 2 घंटे के लिए, एक दिन भी चल जाएगा, 10 दिन भी चल जाओगे। कैन यू गो इट फॉर मंथ्स आल्सो? इट रिक्वायर्स समथिंग, then you have to shut your brain also, you have to work according to his ideas. That's called surrenderness. नहीं तो ईगो गार्ड, अरे मैं से बता रहा हूँ ना, मैंने किया हुआ है, अबे तुम्हें तुम्हें सुनने के लिए नहीं रखा हुआ। इसको कह रहे हैं सरेंडरनेस, दैट्स कॉल्ड। तब जाके कुछ किनारे लगेगी गाड़ी, दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स। ये मैं समझा रहा था आप लोगों को, सेवा से वो बहुत जल्दी बोल देते हैं आप लोग, सेवा सेवा सर्व सर्व। 1 घंटा हम करताल हारमोनियम मृदंग बजा रहे हैं, तो हाँ कहाँ है बैठ, कहाँ प्रसाद? वहां प्रसाद का, जैसे वैष्णव सेवा में तो प्रसाद का भी पता नहीं है। इवन इवन व्हेन वी समवन कम हियर, अभी वो भागवतम क्लास लिया, उसको प्रसाद खिलाना है, प्रसाद खिलाते खिलाते 11-12 बजेगा, उसके बाद अपना खिचड़ी मिलेगा या कुछ के बाद प्रसाद होगा, एंड दैट कंटिन्यूड फॉर मैनी इयर्स। And then when money has to spend, then you don't have to worry about yourself. Yes, certainly the other Vaishnavas is not that he want you to sleep less or he don't want to eat more. It's not like that, but the nature of that service is that you don't have to think about yourself. It's not slavery, it's a service. There's a difference between slavery and service. Slavery is done by out of force, out of need for the money, but service is done out of love. So when you have a love, then you can extend. Otherwise, artificially one cannot. कितनी देर कर लेगा? वो 1-2 घंटे के लिए तो कर लेंगे। हाँ, any other person, हाँ, it's not that easy. उसमें अपनी ईगो किनारे करनी पड़ती है आपको। You need to act like. Is it all right? But you can. It's not that always serving a spiritual master is the only way. No, try to serve the normal devotees also, sick devotees. If someone is a sick, just serve him for one day. Serve the prasadam. That service has to. We need to find ourselves. ऐसा थोड़ा ना कि कहीं पे गए और वहां पे जाके चेयर पे बैठ गए. No, you need to find yourself. Services. And those devotees who have done this type of services, they are the continuing the process also very happily, very happily. They are the same devotees. Good example I have of this Simchetanapur. Yeah, although he is in my team, ठीक है, मैं तो इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ, but he is the person who always say yes to any service. He is not like, he's simple hearted and all, but he is happy because yes, he is engaged always in service. He never said no to any services, always ready to do any type of service. That's called bhakti. That's called bhakti. और तब हरि नाम निकलता है फिर मुंह से, तब निकलेगा सर, ये सब कुछ सेवा करने के बाद तब हरि नाम निकलता है, तब शास्त्र पढ़ते हैं, वो समझ में आते हैं। तो लिबरेशन ही रह गया, एक लिबरेशन से ही लिबरेशन नहीं आई, वो एक टॉपिक रह जाएगा नीचे। सो इन चीजों को रियलाइज करना, दैट्स कॉल्ड वैष्णविज्म बेसिकली, दैट्स कॉल्ड वैष्णविज्म, व्हेन वन इज वरीड अबाउट अदर पर्सन, not just one time, 2 times, then well, it's not that I'm saying that you always become like that, but try to get that into that mood itself, that will purify. आगे बढ़े। Okay, now let's go to this one. थोड़ा सा स्टोरी पढ़ लेते हैं, फिर एंड करेंगे। यस, प्रभु ये पढ़ना, सिमिलरली देयर इज अ स्टेटमेंट।
Similarly, there is a statement in Padma Puran describing the ritualistic function during the month of Kartik, October to November. During this month in Vrindavan, it is the regulative principle to pray daily to Lord Krishna in his Damodar form. The Damodar form refer to Krishna in his childhood when he was tied up with the rope by his mother Yashoda. Dama means ropes and Udar means abdomen. So Mother Yashoda, being very disturbed by naughty Krishna, bound him round the abdomen with a rope, and thus Krishna is named Damodar. During the month of Kartik, Damodar is prayed as follows. My dear Lord, you are the Lord of all, the giver of all benediction. There are many demigods like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, who sometimes offer benediction to their respective devotees. For example, Ravan was blessed with many benediction by Lord Shiva, and Hiranyakashipu was blessed by Lord Brahma. But even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma depend upon the benediction of Lord Krishna, and therefore Krishna is addressed as Lord of all benefactors. As such, Lord Krishna can offer his devotees anything they want, but still the devotees pray, continue. I do not ask you for liberation or any material facility up to the point of liberation. What I want as your favor is that I may always think of your form in which I see you now as Damodar. You are so beautiful and attractive that my mind does not want anything beside this wonderful form. In this same prayer, there is another passage in which it is said, my dear Lord Damodar, once when you were playing as a naughty boy in the house of Nand Maharaj, you broke the box containing yogurt, and because of that, Mother Yashoda considered you an offender and tied you with a rope to the household grinding mortar. At that time, you delivered two sons of Kuver, Nal Kuver and Manigreva, who were staying there as two Arjuna trees in the yard of Nand Maharaj. My only request is that by your transcendent, by merciful pastime, you may simply similarly deliver me.
पढ़ते रहो आगे भी। अच्छा ये खत्म हो गया।
The story behind this verse is that the two sons of Kuvera, the treasure of the demigods, were puffed up on the account of opulence of their father, and so once on the heavenly planet, they were enjoying themselves in a lake with some naked damsel of heaven. At that time, the great saint Narad Muni was passing on the road and was sorry to see the behavior of the son of Kuber. Seeing Narad passing by, the damsels of heavens covered their body with cloth. But the two sons, being drunkards, did not have this decency. Narada became angry with their behavior and cursed them thus. You have no sense, so it is better if you become trees instead of the son of Kuver. Upon hearing this, the boy came to their senses and begged Narad to the pardoned for their offenses. Narad then said, yes, you shall become trees, Arjun trees, and you will stand in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj. But Krishna himself will appear in time as the foster son of Nanda, and he will deliver you. In other words, the curse of Narad was a benediction to the son of Kuver, because indirectly it was foretold that they would be able to receive the favor of Lord Krishna. After that, Kuver two sons stood as two big Arjun tree in the courtyard of Nand Maharaj until Lord Damodar, in order to fulfill the desire of Narad, dragged the grinding motor to which he was tied and struck the two trees, violently causing them to fall down. From out of these fallen trees came Nal Kuver and Manigreva, who had by then become great devotees of the Lord. So we continue.
1 second, I'm just finding it out. Now they got liberated, by the way. Okay, good. Okay. And similarly, in the next one also, in the next paragraph, you will find the same passages, same references from different. Just like in the next paragraph, the Hayashira Panchtattva gave benediction to the Prahlad Maharaj. तो प्रहलाद महाराज ने भी क्या कहा कि मुझे कोई और बिजनेसमैन की तरह कोई वो नहीं चाहिए, बट भक्ति चाहिए, आपका सेवा चाहिए. सो बेसिकली आपको इस वाले चैप्टर के अंदर सारी चीजें वैसे मिलेंगी. सो इन सिमिलर पैसे नाग 6th कैंटो के अंदर 5th वर्स परीक्षित महाराज सुखदेव गोस्वामी को कहते हैं ये वाला में, I understood the demon Vritrasur was greatly sinful person and that his mentality was completely absorbed in the mode of passion and ignorance. Perfection stage. I have heard that even the great person has undergone severe who was liberated with the full knowledge must strive to become the devotees of the Lord. It is understood that such persons are very rare and all these things. Okay. And similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, was Kunti Maharani also prayed that you are inconceivable even to the great stalwart scholars and Paramahansas, fully liberated. So if you great sages who are translated to all reaction of material existence, unable to, then as far as we are concerned, belonging to less intelligent women, how is possible? By devotional service. भक्ति करने से हमें समझ में आ गया, लेकिन बट बहुत सारे योगीज को नहीं समझ में आ रहा था. Similarly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto and all these things, from the above statement, it is found that devotee is not after any stage of liberation. The 5 type of liberation जो हमने study कर लिया, out of these 5 liberation, the one which is known as sahujya, to merge into the existence, is the last to be accepted by a devotee. The other 4 liberation, although not desired by devotees, still are not against by the devotional ideals. Some of the liberated person who have achieved this 4-stage liberation may also develop affection for Krishna and promote it to the Golok Vrindavan planet in the spiritual sky. In other words, those who are already promoted to the Vaikuntha planets and possesses 4 kind of liberation may also sometimes develop affection for Krishna and becomes promoted to the Krishna Loka. But 5th वाली कभी नहीं मानी जाती. साहुज्य, युज का मतलब क्या होता है? टू जॉइन, योजन, योग होता है ना जैसे साहुज्य, तो वो कभी नहीं फॉलो की जाती. बट व्हाट इज टू बी फॉलोड, मतलब इन चारों में से भी कोई मिलती है तो दैट इज जनरली फाउंड इन, नहीं ये 4 कहाँ मिलती हैं?
वैकुंठा.
वैकुंठा में, गोलोक में नहीं. सॉरी, गोलोक में जाने के लिए वन कैन बी स्टिल इंस्पायर्ड आल्सो, and if he is inspired, then he will go to the Golok Vrindavan also. It's like that. So those who are in the 4 liberated states may still be going through different stages of existence. In the beginning, they may want opulence of Krishna, but at the mature stage of dormant love for Krishna exhibited in the Vrindavan becomes prominent in their hearts. As such, pure devotees never accept liberation of Sahujya to become one with the Supreme, though sometimes they may accept as favorable as the 4 liberated. Out of many kinds of devotees of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of the Lord Krishna in Vrindavan is considered to be the
foremost
and first class devotee. Is never attracted by the opulence of Vaikuntha. That's what we discuss in this topic ना, जब हम जितने क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे कि प्रभु जी लिबरेशन या जो वैकुंठा है उसमें क्या दिक्कत है? It's there is no mistake in going to the Vaikuntha, but only thing is there is no intimacy with the Lord. तो अब डिपेंड करता है वो डिवोटी किस तरीके का स्थायी भाव के अंदर है. किसी का स्थायी भाव अगर शांत रस दास्य रस का है वो सेटिस्फाई रहेगा वैकुंठ के अंदर, बट कोई दास्य रस साख्य रस के अंदर है, he will go beyond it. A devotee who is attracted to a particular form of the Lord does not wish to direct his devotion to the other forms. For example, Hanuman, the devotee of the Lord Ramchandra, knew that there is no difference between Lord Ramchandra and Narayan, yet still he wanted to render service unto Lord Ramchandra. This is due to the specific attraction of a particular devotee. There are many forms of the Lord, but still Krishna is the original form. Although all the devotees of the different forms of the Lord are of the same category, still it is said that those are devotees are the topmost in the all. So because they are attracted to the topmost form of that person. So there is nothing wrong if someone is attracted to some other form of the Lord. The only thing one has to do that he is totally absorbed in that form of the Lord. Uske andar absorbed rahe. Okay. So today we discuss these points. So किसी का कोई questions है इस chapter से? Then next time we will study about the chapter 4, chapter 5, purity of devotional service. Okay. Any thought? Any question on this? Yes, Shiva Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Yes, Prabhu.
प्रभु जी मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आया कि आपने ऐसे हनुमान जी और लॉर्ड रामचंद्र का एग्जांपल दिया कि हनुमान जी जानते थे कि नारायण और रामचंद्र में कोई फर्क नहीं है, फिर भी वो लॉर्ड राम को ही उनके प्रति उनका डिवोशन था ज्यादा. तो ऐसे कैसा हो सकता है, क्योंकि हनुमान जी सब कुछ जानते हैं उसके बाद भी वो नारायण या फिर लॉर्ड श्री कृष्णा के प्रति उनका अट्रैक्शन डिवोशन नहीं है, लॉर्ड रामचंद्र के प्रति है. मतलब ये डिवोशन बाउंड रहता है क्या कि लॉर्ड रामचंद्र तक ही रहेगा, इससे ज्यादा नहीं हो पाएगा?
No, it's not that they are he don't have a respect or devotion also. वो सब कुछ रहता है. They know also. Just like gopis also know that Krishna appeared in the Rama form or other forms. But एक particular जिसके अंदर वो खुल के निकलता है ना, तो that form is Lord Ramchandra. जैसे मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ तो इसको आप समझ सकते हो, क्योंकि जीव भगवान का अंश है तो आप उससे रिलेट भी कर सकते हो कहीं ना कहीं. सपोज करो someone is working in office, that time he's a different person. But some other person is working in a home, is a different person. Someone is going for some another maybe recreation activity, is a different person. So the dealing with that person comes out very nicely if you will be satisfied with one of the forms, one of the ways, the way person is doing. So basically अब पता लगे जब ऑफिस में जब कोई जा रहा है तब आप उसको ज्यादा पसंद करते हो कि जब वो इंसान पैंट शर्ट वगैरह पहन के बैठता है या फिर जब मैनेजमेंट करता है तो ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है. बट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट कि अगर कोई पर्सन है देन ही इज जस्ट सिटिंग एट होम एंड ऑल, सो तब ज्यादा अट्रैक्ट होते हो. सो सिमिलरली इट डिपेंड्स ऑन इंडिविजुअल टू इंडिविजुअल. तो उनको पता है नारायण है, कृष्ण है, बट उनका दिल जो है वहीं पे बहता है. ये ऐसे है. और ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको इंफेरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स भी होता है. नो, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. ओके, इज इट क्लियर शिवाब्रू?
यस प्रभु जी।
सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन. सो इस क्वेश्चन को आप अपने आप से, इसका आंसर अपने आप से समझ जाओगे. द मोर यू विल ग्रो नाउ. थोड़ा धीरे धीरे बढ़ते बढ़ते ना, द मोर विल प्रैक्टिस भक्ति, वो आता है, फिर वो आप समझ जाओगे अच्छे से. कल भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं. डोंट वरी, डोंट वरी. हाउ दिस हैपेंस, इट हैपेंस. All right, so thank you very much, my dear friend, for today's evening.
प्रभु
So-
जी, वन क्वेश्चन.
हाँ, yes, Dishan Prabhu.
प्रभु जी, जैसे इसमें लिखा था कि लाइक इन पर्सनलिस्ट भी प्रमोटेड हो जाते हैं आगे जाके,
हाँ
तो फिर हम काटते क्यों हैं फिर इन पर्सनलिस्ट को, उनकी थ्योरीज को? लाइक
हाँ.
वो कभी ना कभी जाके तो भगवान पे आई जाएंगे ना, कृष्ण लोका तो पहुंच ही जाएंगे कभी ना कभी.
ना 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 ना, हम काटते मायावादी को है. इम्पर्सनलिस्ट अगर ब्रह्मवादी होते हैं देन वी डोंट, वी शुड नॉट. जो ब्रह्मवादी होते हैं दे डोंट एनवी. मायावादी एनवी. इम्पर्सनलिज्म का आधा कंसेप्ट है, आधा अधूरा कंसेप्ट है कि अच्छा भगवान का कोई रूप नहीं होता. तो भगवान का कौन सा रूप है? अच्छा भगवान तो है, भगवान का कोई रूप नहीं है, फॉर्म नहीं है, तो मैं इसमें बिलीव करते हैं. तो दे आर नॉट, ये ब्रह्मवादी होते हैं, इनका दिक्कत नहीं है. मायावादी का दिक्कत होता है. मायावादी कहते हैं उसका कोई कोई रूप भी नहीं है और मैं खुद ही भगवान हूँ, तब ज्यादा दिक्कत क्रिएट हो जाती है. सो प्रभुपाद मायावादी इसको काटते थे, इम्पर्सनलिस्ट को नहीं. बट टू कीप द थिंग सिंपल, प्रभुपाद इम्पर्सनलिस्ट और मायावादी वर्ड को एक साथ कॉमनली डील करते थे. बट इन दोनों में डिफरेंस रहता है. इट इज एक्सप्लेन्ड इन जैव धर्मा बाय भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर, और प्रभुपाद की बुक्स में भी आता है. आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान से देखेंगे ना तो प्रभुपाद इन दोनों वर्ड्स को अलग तरीके से डिफाइन करते हैं, इम्पर्सनलिस्ट और मायावादी. मायावादी इम्पर्सनलिस्ट लाइक कैन बी लाइक कि दे आर नॉट एंटी. सो बाय दैट, if they are not anti of a god, then they will get sukurti. तो कोई किस तरीके से भगवान का नाम पुकारता है ये फर्क पड़ता है, और भगवान के फॉर्म में कैसे बिलीव करता है नहीं करता. एक तो है एनवियसनेस से, एक है कि नहीं मैं इस फॉर्म से, मैं इम्पर्सनल फॉर्म से हैप्पी हूँ, मैं सेटिस्फाइड हूँ. सो नो इशू विद दैट. इफ ही इज हैप्पी विद दैट थिंग, नहीं मैं इससे करना, तो कोई गलत नहीं है. और वहां जाने के बाद देन ही मे गेट इंस्पायर्ड बाय लॉर्ड शिवा. देन लॉर्ड शिवा विल टॉट देम कि ओके यू कैन स्टडी भागवत एंड ही विल टेल द ग्लोरीज ऑफ द लॉर्ड कृष्णा. देन ही विल गेट प्रमोटेड आल्सो. तो उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. मतलब इवन प्रॉपरली इम्पर्सनल फीचर को भी मानना बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. मतलब ही इज गेटिंग रिड ऑफ द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड ओनली, मतलब इससे बाहर निकल रहा है. वो 5th टाइप ऑफ लिबरेशन में से भी, मतलब 5 टाइप ऑफ लिबरेशन लेना बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. उसके बाद स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड स्टार्ट होता है. वो तो हम गोलोक वृंदावन की डायरेक्टली बातें करते हैं ना, तो भक्तों को लगता है यार ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है, मतलब स्वर्ग तो रहा है, इम्पर्सनलिज्म तो मतलब क्या, ब्रह्म ज्योति तो क्या ही होता है, ब्रह्म ज्योति थोड़ा ना जाऊंगा. तो इट्स एंट्री मार सकते हैं. हु आर यू? ओके ओके, ब्रिंग हिम. इट्स ओके, आई विल मीट हिम आउटसाइड. So Brahma Jyoti, it's not that bad, that which has been predicted. So sometimes we think, okay, we are just targeting that. We feel we should go there. No, no, it's not like that. Okay, is it all right, Dishanpur?
यस यस प्रभु जी.
Okay, ठीक है. कई बार भक्तों को लगता है वैकुंठ तो ये रहा, वैकुंठ थोड़ा नहीं. तो ऐसे ले लेते हैं वैकुंठ. अबे वैकुंठ पता क्या चीज है, अभी तो ब्रह्म ज्योति बहुत बड़ी चीज है. ऐसे नो नो, नॉट फील लाइक दिस. हाँ, थैंक यू वेरी मच. हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा.